Good morning. Welcome to Prophetic Lifestyles with Bernard Bolton, and we are so excited to be on with you. This is our Wednesday video, our weekly Wednesday video, and here at the Prophetic Lifestyle, we believe that prophecy can be practical. We believe that prophecy can be integrated into everyday life. And we believe that prophecy brings the future now. And so thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking our videos, watching, and for being a valued partner with us in this prophetic lifestyle. Okay, so over the last 2 weeks, we have been talking about the vision and the mission and what is the purpose for this channel. And so 2 weeks ago we talked about making prophecy practical, and hopefully the principles and the action steps that we gave you is making prophecy practical in your life. And then last week, we talked about how to bring prophecy into everyday life. Hopefully, again, we're giving you steps, we're giving you action steps, we're giving you principles on how to bring prophecy into your everyday life. We don't want prophecy to be some strange, mystical experience for the few, for the spiritually elite, okay, for the prophets only, but we want our heart and our desire and our passion is to help the people of God know how to walk in the prophetic, how to walk in prophecy in their everyday life. So today I want to talk to you about bringing the future, how the future is now through the prophetic, how the future is now. I want to give you, I'm going to actually read 2 verses from the book of Jeremiah. And the first verse is Jeremiah 29:11. That's a pretty familiar verse to many believers, but if it's not familiar, that's okay. It'll be familiar after I read it to you. Jeremiah 29:11, and I'm reading from the New King James Version of the Bible. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Okay. And so then the second verse I wanted to read for you is from Jeremiah 31:17. And there it reads, there is hope in your future, says the Lord. All right, that's all we're going to read. And so the future is now. The future lives today because we have the prophetic word, because we have the word of prophecy. The future lives through prophecy. So when you receive a prophetic word and you start to have hope for that word, and you have belief that that word is going to operate in your life until it manifests, that actually brings the future into your today. Most prophetic words, even though there are a lot of prophetic words that are given for today, I remember when I first came, the first time I received a prophetic word from a very accurate, high level prophet. This was back in 2007. Seems like a lifetime ago now. But a lot of the words that he was giving me, it was for the present. It was confirmation. He was unlocking the things that was in my heart. But then also many of the words that he gave me was for the future. And it was speaking of things to come, things to happen. He was talking, I remember one word he gave me, he said that you are a father and there is a movement that you will lead, a movement of fathers and sons, and they will follow. And so I'm in I'm in the midst of that movement now and have been full time for about 5 years. And so, but in 2007, that was a future word. He also said that there was an apostolic call on my life. At the time, I was pastoring a traditional denominational church. Didn't really know anything about the apostolic except the apostolic denomination. I didn't know anything about apostles, but that word, I received and believed every word that the prophet had spoken. And so that was a word for the future. Then 4 years later, I received another word about me, not an apostolic call, but about me being an apostle. And it was time for me to stop dragging my feet. And then the next year, I met my mentor, Apostle Teresa Harvard Johnson. I went through her school, the School of the Scribe, and then the Lord began to open the revelation to me that I was, in fact, an apostle. So it was a long process, but it was a process that was in the future, and I believed it, even though I didn't understand it. So a lot of times you get a prophetic word, you may not understand it now, but don't reject it because you don't understand it, because that word is speaking of your future. Okay. And so many words that are given to us speaks of the future. All right. Now, but our response to that word should be hope. And so when we have hope, which is an expectation that this word is going to happen, is going to bring something good in my life, is going to cause something wonderful to happen for me. And then that hope is what brings the future into now. It brings the future into the day. I have expectation for the prophetic words. And so often, at least once a week, I'll go back and read the prophetic words, which I believe are I believe they are either for now or for the future, and it creates my hope. It stirs my hope, not create, but it stirs my hope, and it stirs an expectation. Now, in the King James version, and I really love this phrase, the King James version, it uses the term expected end. And it says, so it doesn't say future, it says you have an expected end. So there again, you have an expectation of the end of that which is coming, the future. Okay. And you have an expectancy, an expectation of what is going to happen because you believe the prophetic word that has been spoken. All right. And so and so this expected end, or the future, what is the future? Because we know that the future is tomorrow, but the future is also today. And this is how the prophetic brings us into now. This is why I use that phrase, the future is now. We believe that the future is now. First of all, it is now because we are on a trail, or we are on a path. The Lord is our shepherd. Yeshua is our shepherd, and he's leading us on this path into our future. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, the future is not in our hands, and we have no power of creating the future. What will be will be. That's not a biblical understanding of the future. That is what is called fate. And fate is not biblical. It's not a biblical truth. So we don't believe in fate. We don't believe that we just, do the best you can, live day by day, and just believe God's gonna, that he's gonna get you to the end, and at the end you'll die. And if you're a Christian, you'll go to heaven, and if you're not a Christian, you'll go to hell. But that is not the path that we're on. We are on the path with the Lord leading us. But as he leads us, he also gives us the freedom to make choices on the path we are on. And so each day we make a choice. Each day we make choices. Each day we make decisions. And those choices and decisions is what is creating our future. Now, if we follow him, he's going to give us revelation that will help us to make the best choices, will help us to do the best things we can do, that will then bring us into the future that we desire or that we see. And there are even times when we're on the path and we may be struggling on the path. We may be struggling on our destiny. It may be a hard season. We've been in a hard season for the last year and a half. But if we have stayed on the path and the Lord is going before us, he has gotten us through this hard season. So we're on a trail which is leading us to the future, and we are receiving revelation. And when you respond, and sometimes the revelation is a prophetic word, and sometimes the revelation the Lord is showing you something, and you're discovering what the Lord is showing you, or you are coming into a new understanding of truth. Not that the truth is new, but your understanding of it is new, or there is a renaissance or rebirthing in your mind that is causing you to see things in a different way. All right, so all of that is revelation. Now, also, the reason why the future is now is because once we get a revelation of what can be, then we start moving in today. And today we start to create the thing that we will see manifest, the thing that we will see manifest in the future. Okay. I just recently finished writing a book. This will be my 15th published book. It took me a long time to write it because I started it last year, but I recently finished it. I saw the book, started writing it, saw the future, started writing it, and now that I'm finished with it, now I'm moving on to the next book. Why? Because the future, because I am creating. I'm creating every book that I write, every course that I create and coach in my academy. I am creating my future. Every time I minister to a person, I'm creating the future. Even though I'm called to that, every time I interact with a person, minister to a person, mentor a person, I am bringing my future into now. I'm doing the things that was prophetically declared to me. All right, and so a lot of our energy is devoted to building or creating the future. And I pray that you will create and build the future as you see it. And as you are doing it, see, every time I finish a book and publish it, I don't really know, is it going to be successful? Is it going to reach people? But the creation of the book is creating the future. So all I can do is to have an expectation of creating it and then believing that it's going to bless people. And that's how we bring the future into now. Every day you should be on a path. The Lord is your shepherd. Every day you should be living, building your life by revelation. Information is okay, but I'm kind of bothered by people who are content with information instead of getting revelation. Information is anything you find on Google, anything you read out of a book, but revelation is when the Lord turns the light on in your inner being and you begin to see. Okay. and then we bring the future into now by our energy, by our acts, and by our creativity. This last word I want to talk to you about is the word now, because the future is now. And do you know why it's now? Because you are seeing something, you are glimpsing the future, you have a picture of the future, which is what you expect your life to become, and then what you see is what you say. And we're in the pay decade, so this is the decade where we need to start saying the things that we are seeing. Okay, say it to yourself. You don't have to say it to others, because a lot of people will not believe what you're saying, but you need to say to yourself what you're seeing. And that's how the future lives in the present. That's how the future lives in today, and the future is now. Okay, listen, we're in the midst of a celebration. We're celebrating 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to be doing a drawing on this Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To qualify for the drawing, you'll need to leave a comment in the video where we talk about the drawing. Okay, so we'll put the link in the description box, and you can go to the video. Of course, I want you to watch it, but if you don't have time to watch it, just leave a comment there, and I'm going to put everybody's name in my hat. This is our drawing hat that we're using on Friday, and I'm going to put everyone's name in there, and then we're going to draw out 2 names, and I've got free gifts for those that will participate. Okay. Also, I want to encourage you to go to our website and sign up for our mailing list, because we're also we want to do a drawing for those that sign up for the mailing list this month. But we have to get a number of people for that. So if we don't get the subscribers through the mailing list, then we'll just do the drawing on the comments. Okay. And so also this month we'll be doing 2 workshops, and we'll have the link in the description box. We'd love to have you come and be a part of those workshops, which is part of our Creative Awakening Academy. Lastly, we have a mentoring ministry where we mentor ministers, those who are called to vocational ministry, those who are called to minister among the people of God. And it's called Renaissance Prophetic Network, where we are raising up prophetic laborers for the Lord's harvest. We believe that the harvest is now. It's not in the future, but we believe that the harvest is now, and the Lord is gathering a harvest, but he needs laborers in the field. And so through Renaissance Prophetic Network, we are mentoring and raising up laborers for the field. Okay. God bless you. Thank you. Shalom. We'll see you next Wednesday.